Hello everyone. I'm trying to flip this camera around, but it does not work so I could show you my campfire. But I think I'm gonna start a new series called Campfire Stories. Because I want to tell you a story, but I don't feel like typing it. Okay, so here's my campfire story number 1. Okay, I just pulled into this campsite right before dark, and it's basically like an old Conservation Corps campsite. So people in the 20s and 30s, like maybe later than that, I don't freaking know all the dates, but a long time ago, people would camp. They would set up camps and they would like create hiking trails and do forest restoration and do all these like land things. Okay, so it was a camp like that, but like from the old days. So there's like no services, there's no electric, there's just a water spigot that you can pump your water, and there's a vault toilet. That's it. So I come in here and I was like, oh wow, there's a lot of hunters here, and I didn't know like it's hunting season and they are going to take over the campground, and they all look like they literally just moved in with they all have huge tents, not very many RVs. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to be filled with hunters. All right, this is the first. So just don't get shot and don't go off the trail without a vest. So I pull in, I see the water spigot, and I'm like, okay, let me get me some water because I want to take a shower tonight. And as I'm getting out of the truck, I notice these guys, all the hunters are like sitting, there's like a camp with 2 trailers that are across from me. That's why I'm looking over there. And they have like a picnic table and all their chairs set up. And let me see if I can show you. No, I can't show you because it won't let me flip. They're over there. Okay. So they're sitting there out there in their lawn chairs and they're watching me go to get the water. And I notice they're kind of giggling. And I'm like, what are you giggling about? You know, like what? It's like funny to you that you see a female by herself. You know, that's what I was thinking because I have bad thoughts all the time. So then I go to pump the water, and it's like the spigot had a certain kind of nozzle on it on purpose so that you could not hook it to a hose. So I was like, okay, well, this is not going to work. So here I am walking back with my hose, put it back in the RV. I'm like, well, whatever, forget it. I don't really need water. It was just like I was going to take it because I could, you know, like fill it up while I can. So anyway, so I drive past them, and then I go park my RV in like the only spot that's left. And as I'm backing up, one of the men is like walking toward me, like toward the vehicle. And first of all, it seems like a test to like see, are you a mask wearer? Like, let me see how close I can get to you before you freak out. I don't like that, number 1. Number 2, like announce why you're walking toward me. Like, I don't know you. So I yell at him and I said, well, nicely, I just said, are you coming over here to tell me something? And he shakes his head no. And I'm like, okay, then why are you walking over here? So anyway, he walks closer and he says, do you need some water? I can give you like 5 gallons. And I was like, no, I don't really need it. I was just trying to fill it up, you know? And then he's like, well, I can give you some. And I said, well, I saw you guys giggling. Were you guys laughing at me because you're going to watch me try to fill up my water and I couldn't? And he's like, yeah. So I was like, well, thank you for the offer of the water. No, thank you. I'm good. You know, I was just going to top it off because it was there and it's part of the campground, you know? So he walks away. So then like 10 minutes later, he comes back over here and he's like, I'm watching you back up and it looks like you've done that before. I'm like, yeah, like I've been doing this on my own for a year. And he looked kind of surprised. And so then I like pull into my spot and I get out and he's still standing here. And then he says, well, you know, down the road, like 6 miles, there's a campground with electric and power and water and sewer if you need all that stuff. And I was like, no, I don't need any of that. Matter of fact, like I have solar on my roof. I have a full tank of water almost. Like, no. But I was thinking to myself, like, who do you think you're talking to? Like, are you mansplaining RV camping to me? Like, for real. Like, bitch, I live this. You probably do this on the weekends. Like, you're talking to the wrong girl. Mm-mm.